We have two solid games of Dr. Wily being the big bad villain, right? So he comes up and says, hey, I'm actually good now. I'm reformed. So him and Dr. Light join forces and they start building more peacekeeping robots, and together they build the most peacekeeping of all robots, Gamma. It was Dr. Light's dream to build a gigantic robot to help protect the world. I don't know, that sounds kind of villainous, but I'm not gonna poke at it. But the one thing they're missing now is actually the 8 energy elements. I'm reading this on the wiki, by the way. You guys have to tell me if I'm right or wrong, or if it's right or wrong. So they need the 8 elements, whatever that would end up being. 8 does equal up to 8 Robot Masters, I see the math here. But they're located on different planets? Are you telling me Mega Man 3 is a spacefaring game? That's kind of insane. I didn't actually take Mega Man for a space travel. Yeah, because wasn't Mega Man X8 the big thing about the Jacob project or whatever, about them taking humans up into space or something like that? It's been a long time since I played that game. I don't know exactly the plot details. We'll get there eventually, I guess. Whatever, doesn't matter. Alright, so we have 8 planets, 8 energy elements, and 8 robot masters that were sent to these planets to collect said energy. But suddenly they go crazy. How surprising. It's almost to theme at this point, right? Enter the title character, Megaman. He goes off on his adventure to collect the 8 energy elements for Dr. Light, so he can finish his giant peacekeeping robot. Still sounds kind of evil, but whatever. But this time he actually has a robot dog. I love Rush. He's such a cool little character, and very little fanfare to his creation, sure, but I'm enjoying the idea that they put him into the game. In fact, they end up using him as a replacement for the item weapons or item abilities in Mega Man 2. So instead of those, you get Rush abilities. We'll get more into that as we go. Along his quest, though, Mega Man meets up with the mysterious new villain or ally, Brickman. Kinda crazy, right? An unknown mysterious robot? What's going on here? And that's the setup for the adventure. Will Mega Man be able to collect the 8 elements with his good old dog companion? And what's up with this Brickman? We'll find out as we play through the game. Ooh. And like I said, everything I just read was actually in the wiki. None of it was found in-game. In-game itself is just like Mega Man 1, it just has the Mega Man title. You hit start, boom, you're into your stage selection. That's it. No cutscene like Mega Man 2. Kind of a shame that they went backwards, but the presentation of the character selection is a lot better. I do like Mega Man's face in the center. His, eyes follow where the cursor is. Cool little details. For some reason, the character selection over Shadow Man, there is a little glitching effect. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know if that's, reality ripping or we're entering into a new dimension. I just choose to ignore it and pretend it's not real. Mega Man, stop staring. I guess that's it for the preamble. Now on to the actual game. The first Robot Master we tackle is Magnet Man. Easy enough beginning. We start off with a gimmick that kind of fits the boss. We have magnets that'll pull you up and drag you back, and will drop you down into a pit if you're not prepared. After that, though, you jump down this hole, you hear a whistle, and every time you hear this whistle, it means the exact same thing. Our mysterious new character shows up to fight us. He quite literally only jumps and shoots. That is his entire motion. He jumps from left to right, shooting as he goes, and that is it. Every fight is that way. He does not change his pattern in any regard in any fight at all. After we win, though, a path forward appears, and he just kind of vanishes off. I wonder if he's actually trying to help us. The level from there just kind of continues on like a normal Mega Man level does. A couple new enemy types as you go, but it is a very similar fare that you're used to. Oh no, we got Yoku blocks again. Luckily, though, with Rush Coil, we can actually skip this segment pretty well. I'm just gonna... Wait, nope. Let me try again. Wait. Yeah, there we go. No cheating, no abuse of a particular feature that is exclusive to the Legacy Collection. Not at all. I don't know what you're talking about. And here's another spot. We'll do it again. And this one can be kind of devilish, because you have this, little magnet beam that's pulling you in, and you have a bottomless pit, so you gotta, carefully platform up and not fall down that pit. It's a little tricky, but not too much that you can't handle. One last pit, and we're done with the Yoku segment. Awesome. Some more typical Mega Man platforming, and we're at the boss. He jumps, he shoots magnets, he has diarrhea, you have to run away from him while he has diarrhea, otherwise you get hurt, and repeat. Once you win, you get the magnet missiles, and do you know what enemy is weak to magnet missile? Hard Man! You know, the stage kinda aesthetically reminds me of Gutsman a little bit. I don't know, it might be the rocks and... oh my god, bees! They have bees in space and they hurt! Luckily, this is an NES game, and as such, it's easy to abuse the enemy spawning situation. Once the bees show up, you can double backwards, and this actually despawns the bee. It's a very useful trick to have in your back pocket. Get past these, I don't know, alligator traps or bear trap platforms? I don't know how to really best describe that. And then you have, oh yeah! This game introduces sliding. I completely forgot. The next room has a mandatory rush coil segment. That's kind of fun, right? But you have to time it with this goddamn bastard who keeps throwing this goddamn ball at you. And then you have a cave full of monker. And Mets using construction equipment. Aw, they're loading. And we got a segment with the bear traps and the bees. That's a dangerous combination. It's really hard to double back when those are there. You just take the hit, honestly. Drop down and oh, what's that? Are you hearing that whistle again? That's right, it's our good mysterious warrior. But this time, the arena isn't flat, so it's that much harder to dodge. And that's why I said fuck it, and just stand in the middle and plow straight through it. Sometimes the key to good gaming is just smashing your head against a brick wall until you break through. Classic gaming. Luckily after the fight you get this easy, I don't know, what do you call it? Big heal? I don't know. However you slice and dice it, a decent percent of your HP is healed up before you get the chance to challenge the boss. And with his weakness, he's an easy first try win. And our reward for doing so is Hard Knuckle. We'll take on Knuckles and we'll challenge Top Man next. I hate the addition of these enemies that are just so low to the ground that it's like impossible for you to hit with your regular buster shot. I also hate every room with these little staircases. Sometimes you got this big guy shooting tops at you and you just have to get lucky on your timing to get up there and give him a good old 1-2. And other times you have these mechs shooting pellets at you. Either way, I don't like it. Now I do have to ask, when I think of tops, I don't think of forest, trees, or pot plants, whatever this is. And I also don't think about cats with yawn. But these are both things that are in this stage. So I ask, what do these have to do with tops? There are two things here that match the top theme. One is these big guys that I mentioned before that shoot the tops at you, and the other is these top platforms that kind of spin at you. I kind of wish this level had more of that to actually match with the gimmick of the boss. But you know, I guess pot leaves is what we got instead. As for Top Man himself, just like any kid you'd see playing with tops, all you have to do is punch him in the face and he kinda runs away screaming. Pretty easy. Not that I would have any experience with any side of that kind of altercation. None at all. None at all. But hey, we got Top Spin, an almost completely useless power that's only used a handful of times in this entire game. And one of those times is on Shadow Man himself. We got pipes and mysterious red fluid. I don't know if that's lava, water, or just space liquid, but that's alright. And we have another fight with our mysterious newcomer. Some areas in the stage use those same effects that you'd see in Mega Man 2's final boss, where it's kind of like in the space theme and it's all black and you don't know what's happening around you. Wait a minute, there's only one guy I know that uses Mets and this kind of space-themed hologram technology. Something smells fishy. A series of ballerina twirls and Shadow Man is out. Our reward is Shadow Blade. Sparkman. His stage is set up like an industrial factory with all sorts of like obstacles themed around electricity, and we also have like plugs that shoot lightning at you as well. So it is to theme. I'm okay with this. There's this almost spooky platforming segment where you land on these platforms that go up and you have spikes on the ceiling, so if you stay on it for too long you'll just auto die. You also have a segment where garbage gets dropped on you, don't worry about that too much. Another spike ceiling floating platform segment later, and you're at the boss. The guy likes to jump around a lot, he'll then stop and shoot at you, let it be a charge shot or like a spread shot. Oh, my voice cracked there a bit. I'm not retaking that. That is in this video. That is in this finished product, and that's just what you're gonna have to deal with. For winning though, we get the Spark Shock. And next is Snake Man. The stage is very to theme. We have a giant snake that we're running on, and I don't know if this is one living organism, or if it's a multitude of snakes, or what's going on. All I know is that we're running on this snake. We have multiple heads that shoot pellets at me, some big, some small. It's kind of gross, kind of cool, kind of I just want to get through this, honestly. It's a little uncomfortable. This is also the first time I run into this pole vault enemy. He's just kind of weird to deal with, and every time I see him, I get hit, and I don't know how to avoid it. And also, for some reason, by the end of the stage, we end up getting into the clouds. We leave the snake theme, and we're in the sky. It's giving Airman from Mega Man 2. I can't quite put into words, but for some reason this boss gave me so much trouble when I first fought him. I just couldn't get behind the pattern. It's such a simple pattern too, but like, I just couldn't get behind it. My brain couldn't function. Eventually we won, of course, and we moved on to the next stage, and we got Search Snake for it, but like, still, tricky. And our next stage is what we got, Gemini Man. This is the most space-themed looking stage amongst all of them. I actually feel like I'm on another planet. You got these cool little rocks, you got penguins for some reason, and you have these floating guys that drop bombs on you. I don't know what the penguins do to fit the theme here, but we got them. Penguins in space! And here we have another chance to fight our new rival, Brickman, and oh, he just opens the path and lets us continue forward. More suspicious. Once you get underground though, it gets more spacey. You have like these, I don't know, bubbly looking little tadpole eggs that you shoot. Out comes these tadpoles, they come at you. You have like these veiny like background aesthetics. It's very to theme of like space and like exploratory. Metroid. Metroid is what I'm looking for. That's the word I'm thinking of. It looks very Metroid, but like more cartoon, if that makes sense. I don't know. As you're exploring the underground though, making your way through, some of the things you have to deal with is these tadpole enemies and a giant penguin that shoots other penguins at you. I don't know what space and penguins have to do with each other, again, but here's what we got. Penguins. Now here we have one big set piece, if you would. It's a long hallway with bottomless pits, water, platforms, fish that shoot missiles at you, and dragonflies that make a very specific movement pattern that you have to recognize so you can properly dodge them, and you also can't hurt them. And don't forget the E-Tank if you're daring enough to collect it. And there's actually another E-Tank at the end of it, which really tells you they expect you to take a lot of damage here, and kind of gave you an E-Tank as an apology. It's kind of one of those throw everything at you and the kitchen sink scenarios. But after that, the rest of the stage is kind of easy, and then you're on your way to Gemini Man himself. Am I seeing double? Alright, with that, we're on to our last robot master, Spike Man. You have porcupine guys that shoot spikes at you, you got Mets, and is that the top of a huge Met? You also have these sliding moments in which you have to time your slides with these spikes heading down from the ceiling. Other than that though, it's kind of a standard stage, nothing really sticks out about it. So I guess we're on Spike Man. So Gemini Laser is his weakness, but there's a little bit of a negative to the power. See, when you shoot it, if you miss, it bounces off the walls and you can't shoot another shot until it hits him or until it fades out. It ended up working out pretty well for this boss fight, so not too many complaints here. And for winning, we got the Needle Cannon and we finally got Rush Jet. You know, I completely forgot to mention Rush Marine, but that's because the power is so underused in this game, you kind of forget it exists. Now, if you thought defeating the 8 Robot Masters would bring you straight to the end game final castle, you'd be wrong. In this game, we have an extra bit of filler to just kind of pad out the length a bit. And for those who know, they know, we got the Dark Robots. Overall, an incredibly annoying use of padding, but it is kind of a cool concept to revisit stages you've already visited but kind of remixed. So there's a little bit of pro, a little bit of con here. For Sparkman stage, they add these spinning platforms, and one of those chasms that you have to drop down and you have the spikes on the walls and you have to zig and zag your way through so you don't die. Also watch out for the trash, it's way more dangerous. For Needleman, they just add a lot more spikes to dodge. They also add this really cool Rush Jet section. You see, you have to like use Rush Jet to make your way all the way to the other side. As you're doing it, you have to dodge enemies, you have to collect refuel on your weapon energy, that way you can like maintain your Rush Jet state. It's all around a really fun, unique challenge to this game. Hey look, it's that giant Met that we kinda saw foreshadowed a little while ago. That's kinda neat. And now it's a boss fight. Alright. For Gemini Man, they added way more bottomless pits at the beginning. Oh, and here it is, the one and only Rush Marine segment. What do you know? It's actually pretty similar to the Rush Jet segment I was talking about earlier, just underwater. Same idea, but, you know, water. For Shadow Man, they added way more spikes at the beginning. They also add this segment where you have this platform that kind of breaks under you, so you have to move by quickly. It's kind of tricky, but luckily we have Rush Jet, and we can just kind of skip that whole segment with it. Now, beyond revisiting these stages and these added changes I've mentioned, there's definitely more to it, like the aesthetics are different. Like the graphical elements make it look like it's a destroyed area we are now revisiting. Then there's the Dark Robots themselves. Basically, in each one of these stages I've mentioned, you have two Dark Robot fights. One at the halfway point, one at the end. Each one of these fights ends up being a rehash of the Mega Man 2 Robot Masters. And I mean, they end up using the exact same weapons and the exact same strategies as the previous bosses. So really, no matter how many ways I look at it, this is all just padding with some cool ideas mixed in the middle, but it's still a waste of my time, and I just want to move on to the next segment. This is it, the final fight, me and you, Mega Man versus Brickman. Let's go. Wait, have I been saying Brickman this entire time? It's Breakman. It's Breakman. For anyone who's gonna get angry at me, sorry? Anyways, this boss fight is not different at all compared to the other ones we've had with this guy. But once we beat him, we get transported back to Dr. Light's lab, and we have an actual cutscene for once. Oh no, after we received the last element, Wily ran off with Gamma? Who would have suspected such a betrayal? That's right folks, we are now entering the end game. We have now begun the Wily Fortress. Going piece by piece, you got a standard platforming segment right here at the beginning. With enemies abound, you just gotta shoot them down before they get you. An underwater platforming segment that I totally could have used Rush Marine here to make it a lot faster, but I didn't, and it was pretty easy anyways. We got some climbing, we got some sliding over spike pits, and then you have the boss. It's kind of like a floating enemy spawner, it just kind of shoots turtles at you, you shoot all the turtles, and you win. Simple and clean. The next stage begins with those platforms that drop you real quickly, but it's in a very safe environment, so it's more of a learning segment than anything else. You got more bear trap platforms with spikes and bees. That's a lovely combo, isn't it? Another Rush Jet section, and oh, what's this? Oh no, it's the Yellow Devil again. This time we don't have the pause trick. Luckily, it feels like you have more screen real estate to actually react to him and dodge him. But on the other end, he uses different patterns as he goes left and right throughout the stage, so a little give, a little take. But with Hard Knuckle, you can just punch him in the eye and take him out pretty easily enough. The next stage plays with that like space hologram technology used before, and it also has these like moving floor platforms that lead you straight into spikes. You can easily enough just jump your way through it though without really thinking much. At least I did. The next fight is against 3 fake Megamans, but only one of them is real, so you just have to like jump between the 3 and see which one's real and shoot them down. The next stage begins with an area where you can like recoup some of your energy supply, and after a little platforming segment, you enter the Boss Rush, the second Mega Man game with the official Boss Rush formula. Let's go! What's really nice though is after you beat the Boss Rush, you actually get to end the stage, allowing 1 for a checkpoint, and 2 for you to recoup your health. Are you ready for the final boss of Mega Man 3? The first phase is easy enough. You can dodge his beam pretty easily and you can consistently get shots on him, so not really much to talk about there. The second phase is what really sucks. For one, you can only really hit him when he ducks down. It's the only time he's actually hittable. And like for the second phase, the part that really just trips me up all the time, he has these little pellets that come out from his sides. But like I can't consistently pay attention to that and pay attention to like his openings. So my brain is just splitting and I'm just taking in all the hits all the time. After screaming at the TV for long enough, I eventually win though, so that's good. God damn it, wasn't even really Wily. Now we have the final boss. That's right, the peacekeeping robot turned evil. We're talking Gamma. This boss has 2 phases, both incredibly easy. Phase 1, you just gotta get yourself on this little platform and shoot him with a hard knuckle. In the second fight, you'd be super shocked to what he's weak to. He's weak to topspin, and not even weak to it. Like, it's a one-hit kill, immediately, like, game over. You won the game, kinda weak. So, I guess we beat Mega Man 3! I'll let this, endgame segment play out. It's kinda cool. I like how they do the big reveal. Wait, Dr. Wright? I thought it was Dr. Light the entire time. What the hell? That's right, that mysterious stranger that's been helping us all along is actually Proto Man, Mega Man's own brother. Alright, big plot twist aside, we're now at the end of the video, so let me just recap what I thought about the game, and then we'll get into the other buzz, if you would. So, first off, the game itself is pretty good. Overall, I think it's easier than previous Mega Mans, except for the Doc Robot segment. That whole part of the game slows everything down, and I like the concept of what they were trying to do, but the execution just wasn't there. In later Mega Man games, they do fix this, like, lengthening technique they like to use to kind of extend the game. They make it feel less padding and more of actual, like, game progression. But for now, it's weird and padding-like. Other than that, though, the game's really good. You heard my thoughts. It's kind of hard to critique each Mega Man game as we go when, especially the NES era, one game after another, they're all very similar to each other. That's why I decided to go through like a level-by-level basis as I've been going through these game titles. It's been an easier way to, like, explore my thoughts. I've also kept to this more rambling style of, like, narration. It's a little bit easier for me to not sound as robotic as I can be if I stick to, like, a script. I don't know, I might go back to a more scripted format later, but for now, we're sticking to this rambling method. And yeah, if you like what you saw, like, comment, subscribe, you know, the whole YouTube buzz. I am in the middle of this Mega Man marathon. I do plan to play other titles. I've done Sonic previously. I plan to continue through Sonic reviews on this channel and other games I like. But for now, we do have a couple more Mega Man games I have down the pipeline before we move on to other topics. And then eventually I'll circle back around to Mega Man. I'm not gonna just run through only Mega Man and that's it. I would go crazy doing that. I'm just gonna do a segment of the series, stop, go to another series, do a segment of that, and just kind of bounce around based on what I want to do and what I want to play at the time, you know? I think that's the best way for me to continue to make videos and also have fun while doing it. So I hope you guys stick around for the ride. Again, thank you all for watching. For anyone who stayed around this long, thank you. Have a fantastic day, evening, night, whenever you're watching this. And yeah, see you in the next video.